Hey, good evening, kids. This is Pastor Mark, and I'm so happy to be able to share something with you tonight. Miss Lisa asked me the other day if I would share a lesson with you tonight, and of course I'm happy to do that. We want all you children to know that we love you and we miss you, and we hope to see you again soon at church. But recently, one of the little girls at church, she asked her mother, she said, why does God let bad things happen? What, like this coronavirus? Why is it happening? And that particular little girl, I just happen to know that her family, they had recently lost their dog, and when they lost their dog, they were all so sad, and they were looking everywhere for him. And then, in just a few days, somebody called, and they had found their dog. And when they found that dog, they were all so happy. And so when the mom, I said, what should I say to her? I said, what you ought to tell her is, you remember how sad you were when you lost that dog, but then you remember how happy you were once you found it. A lot of times, sad things happen in life. Sometimes bad things we don't even understand. But we can always be assured that God is working behind the scenes, doing things to help us and to, working things out for good is what the Bible says. And so I came across, though, this great illustration that I think will help us all to understand this better. And so I want to share it with you tonight in hopes that this might help us understand, why sometimes bad things happen. So let's just jump right into it. How many of you kids like to eat cake? I do. I love to eat cake, and I wish you could be in my kitchen right now. If you were here in my kitchen, it smells so good because I cooked a cake to use in this lesson tonight, but we're going to get to that in a minute. But if you were to, eat a cake, I don't know what your favorite kind of cake is. I like chocolate cake. I like German chocolate cake. I like lemon cake. I just like all kinds of coconut cake. What's your favorite cake? Well, cake's delicious. But you ever thought about what it would be like to eat the ingredients separately? Oh man, I'm gonna tell you, that'd be bad. Some of them taste bad. Some of them are good, but some of them are, like for instance, would you ever take and just eat a spoonful of flour? Well, I'm going to do that tonight just to see what it's like, okay? So here goes, spoonful of flour. That's horrible. That's horrible. Oh, kids, that was horrible. That was horrible. I had to go spit it out. Flour's good in a biscuit or a cake, but it's not good by itself. Okay, what about a bite of cocoa? I don't know if I can even do it. We're going to try a bite of cocoa. Bad. So, cocoa's good in chocolate, but to just eat a mouthful by itself is very, very bitter. All right. Well, one more thing. I've got a raw egg here. Now, I grew up on a poultry farm, but I never in my life have eaten a raw egg. But I'm going to do it for you kids tonight, just to prove this point. Okay? So here we go. Got a raw egg. Don't try this at home. You might get salmonella poisoning. Hopefully, Pastor Mark won't get salmonella poisoning, but we're going to do it. I'm going to do it for you. All right, here we go. That was horrible. So I think you're getting the point, kids. Cake is delicious, but when we try to eat the ingredients by themselves, they're not good at all. In fact, they're very, very bad. Now, there is something good that goes in cake, though. Here's a little sugar. I could use something good after all that. Yeah. That's sugar good. Okay. So, in life, it's like a cake. Sometimes bad things happen. Sometimes good things happen. And God is working all things together for good. In fact, there's a promise about that. It's found in the Bible in Romans 8, chapter 28. I want to read it to you. Listen to what it says. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good for those who are called according to his purpose. So, God can take those bad things that happen. I can't even hardly talk after eating all that stuff. God can take those bad things that happen and he can turn it into something good if we'll only trust him. There's a story in the Bible about that. You probably remember it. It's the story of Joseph. You know, Joseph, his brothers got jealous because his father gave him that coat of many colors. And they sold their brother into slavery as a slave. And I'm sure when that happened, Joseph thought that was the most horrible thing in the world that could ever happen to him. But you know, God was working behind the scenes. And later on, there was a famine. And Joseph had risen to power in Egypt. And he was able to save not only all the people in Egypt, but he was able to save his family members. Well, after his father died, his brothers thought that Joseph was going to be so upset with them that, you know, he was going to do something bad to them. But Joseph said, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. And he used that bad situation and turned it into something good. Now, just like we did tonight with this cake, we used all of these ingredients. Separately, they taste horrible. But if you put them all together, you get a nice chocolate cake. And I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to eat just one bite, just to show you how good it is when we live life God's way. All right, you see that? Everybody see it? All right, we're going to take a big bite. That is so good. So kids, I want you to always remember, when bad and hard and difficult things happen, God is working behind the scenes to bring good out of any and every situation. He just wants us to trust him. I hope and pray that you will. I love you, and so does Jesus. See you later. Bye-bye.